Priyanka Gandhi is making statements with her bags. Yes, you heard that right. First, a Palestine bag, and then, when a debate erupted around that, a bag asking for justice for Bangladesh's minorities. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. On the program today, we'll be looking at the bag full of politics that has erupted out of parliament after Priyanka Gandhi Vadra carried a bag emblazoned with one word across it: Palestine. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's support for the people of Gaza, in particular, amid the Israel Gaza conflict, has been no secret. Today, after a furor around her Palestine bag, she carried another bag, a bag that spoke for justice for the Hindus and Christians of Bangladesh. Her bag has become somewhat of a talking point, and she has retorted angrily, saying she has every right to wear exactly what she wants to. That is patriarchal to comment on what she carries on her frame. But the fact is that she is a member of parliament, and she's a member of parliament of the largest opposition party. Did Priyanka Gandhi show courageous empathy, or did she display political naivete? Has she set the terms by grabbing the headlines, or has she walked into a trap set by the BJP? Let's introduce our panel today. I never thought the day would come when we'd be debating Priyanka Gandhi's bags, but well, here we are. Joining us on the program, Sandip Ghose, who's of course a political analyst, and I always say a supporter of the Prime Minister, but sometimes critical of the BJP. Thank you very much, Sandip. We'll see whether he is in agreement with the BJP making an issue out of Ms. Gandhi Vadra's bags. Ashwini Shahi, leader of the BJP, is with us. Ashwini ji, namaskar. Good to see you. Yogi Adityanath has also commented on this issue, and we'll be playing out his clip as well. Saba Naqvi is with us, senior journalist and author. When Priyanka Gandhi carried the bag saying Palestine on it, Saba applauded what she called the courage of that statement. What does she think of the bag carried by Priyanka Gandhi today? And what sort of political semiotics are we really discussing here? It's partly funny and partly serious. And of course, we will have Tehseen Poonawala join us shortly. But first, I want to play out a little clip. This is what Priyanka Gandhi actually said when she was questioned about why she chose to carry a bag that said Palestine on it to Parliament. Take a look.
You want to say something while you're carrying this bag?
I've said many times what my beliefs are regarding this. And if you look at my Twitter handle, all my comments are over there.
They say that
I believe that
parliamentarians can't carry this.
Who's going to decide what clothes I wear now? Who's going to decide that? That's typical patriarchy, that you decide what clothes women wear also. Okay, ma'am. I don't subscribe to that. I will wear what I want.
I will wear what I want. You will not tell me what to wear. And today she came to Parliament, as I said, not just carrying a bag that spoke about Bangladesh Hindus and Christians, but also leading protests outside Parliament. We have those pictures and you'll see them in the program. Let's open this up for debate. Saba, I'll start with you. You applauded the Palestine bag. Here's the point. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is not an activist. She's a politician. And she's the politician of a major, significant opposition party. No matter what you think of the Congress, it is the largest opposition party. When India has a somewhat delicate position on Israel-Gaza, offering humanitarian aid, recognizing the right of Palestine to exist as its own state, but also in a way gravitating closer to Israel than at least before. Do you think Priyanka Gandhi has shown empathy as you might have described it, or do you think she's kind of walked into a political minefield?
I think if you look at what's happened the world over, including in the International Court of Justice, where many countries, including South Africa, the entire third world, more or less, has spoken with Palestine, has spoken up against imperial powers acting, or Israel acting with the support of imperial powers. Just count the countries, count the places where there are protests. All democracies have had protests. We have had very little of that in India. Even though we have, if you study our history, we identified with Palestine because historically, if you look at what happens in the world when the colonial powers retreat, is that they set boundaries in two places particularly. I'm not even getting into Ireland, but it's been well studied. One boundary is in the Indian subcontinent, which leads to an eternal conflict. India, Pakistan, and so on and so forth. The other boundary is created when, after World War II, when they create a homeland, in the homeland where Palestinians live, where they European massacre of Jews is transported into and through Western nations, members of the Axis powers getting together, boundaries are drawn out. That we historically always stood with Palestine. We only began diplomatic relations with Israel in 91. So let's understand the context of when we spoke as colonized nations, we had a different history. So I think that it's excellent that Priyanka Gandhi has had the courage of her convictions. She has been on Twitter, and besides Barkha, as journalists, more journalists have died in Palestine, in Gaza, than in any war in the world so far. Babies have been maimed. All of that has happened. So I certainly think if the opposition across the world can have divergent views on that, why should we expect in India, no, we have a delicate relationship? That's hogwash. That is saying you must go along with what, there is a moral issue here. There is a historical issue.
I know, but Saba, the fact is, and the real politic is that as journalists, can I just ask a question before I open this up? As journalists, we are freer, you and I. That's why we're not in politics, because we can speak our mind, or we speak our mind. We don't have to kowtow to all kinds of calculations, right? That's real politics. You have to kowtow to all kinds of calculations.
But parties can have differing views on this. I mean, different parties have different views on on the position. And you think people cannot express a view on something which is looking like a massacre of women and children, on which countries are, on which the International Court of Justice, Benjamin Netanyahu can be arrested in many countries. South Africa, which gets a free of which Mandela comes out, moved a motion in the International Court of Justice. Brazil, look at what all the countries that speak for the global South, look at the positions they have taken. I accept we are taking a delicate position, but I certainly think opposition parties should speak out if they have a view on this, and she does have a view on this. She has already tweeted out before that. Yeah.
अश्विनी जी, प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा का कहना है दो चीजें. एक तो कि मैं पहले भी बोल चुकी हूँ, मेरे बैग कैरी करने से मैं कोई नई बात नहीं बोल रही. आई हैव ट्वीटेड, मेरी कमेंट्री इज वेल नोन, और आप लोग, कोई भी लोग कौन होते हैं मुझे ये बताने के लिए कि मैं क्या बैग अपनी साड़ी के साथ, अपनी शर्ट के साथ, मैं औरत हूं, मैं तय करूंगी कि मैं क्या पहनूंगी. 1 2, बीजेपी ने शोर उठाया कि भाई आप बांग्लादेश की हिंदूज की बात क्यों नहीं करते. एज अ मैटर ऑफ रिकॉर्ड शी डिड रेज द इश्यू येस्टरडे व्हाइल शी वाज कैरिंग दैट पैलेस्टाइन बैग, और आज वो लेके आ गई एक बैग जिसपे बांग्लादेश की अल्पसंख्यकों की बात थी. तो क्या बीजेपी इस पे चेकमेट हो गई है कि आप इसको किस नजरिए से देखते हैं?
बरखा जी, देखिए, प्रियंका जी क्या पहनेंगी क्या नहीं पहनेंगी, हर व्यक्ति का अपना अधिकार है क्या पहनेगा नहीं पहनेगा, मगर संसद को एक जो है वो क्या कहते हैं कैट वॉक की जगह नहीं बनानी चाहिए. जैसे आदमी कहता है कि भाई ठीक है, फिलिस्तीन की जय, तो वैसी साहब भी बोल गए, वहां फिलिस्तीन का बैग लेकर ये जा रही हैं. वहां पर क्या इन्होंने फिलिस्तीन के पक्ष में कोई मोशन पेश करने की कोशिश की, उस सदन में कोई चर्चा कराने की कोशिश की? आखिर क्या फिलिस्तीन के प्रति इतना प्रेम क्यों जागा? सवाल यहाँ नहीं उठता है. सवाल उठता है उनका प्रेम जागे क्योंकि उनके अगर पीढ़ियों दर पीढ़ियों से पीछे चला जाए तो फिर वो फिलिस्तीन के रहने वाले प्राणियों से उनका कोई संपर्क होगा, जो भी हो. राहुल जी जैसा देखते हैं, उन्होंने जो बात कही वहां पर, वो मानने का सबसे बड़ी बात है. उस वो ड्रेस पहने बांग्लादेश के लिए, अब उनके प्यार जाग रहा है. उनको जो है कितने दिन से बांग्लादेश का ये सब चीजें चल रही हैं, हिंदुओं की अब याद आ रही है, ईसाइयों की अब याद आ रही है. ईसाई जोड़ दिया है जबकि वहां हिंदू ही मारे जा रहे हैं. चलिए, अच्छी बात है. उन्होंने कहा पितृसत्ता की मैं विरोधी हूं. तो ये प्रियंका जी क्या हैं, किस चीज की प्रतीक हैं? राहुल जी 20 साल पहले से सदन में है और ये पितृसत्ता का उसमें नहीं है, तो आज ये आ रही है सदन में. ये इनको अपने ऊपर सोचना चाहिए, अपने परिवार के ऊपर सोचना चाहिए कि ये पितृसत्ता का जो ये कहती है ना राहुल जी का तो नाम नहीं लिया, खैर अपने ऊपर ही अटैक करती हैं. उस दिन इन्होंने जो बयान दिया, जो कहा कि जो है ऐसे कुछ अहंकारी लोग होते हैं, ज्यादा दिन सत्ता में नहीं रहते हैं, तो राजीव गांधी जी पर कर दिया. 400 था, उसके बाद वो बाहर हो गए. तो देखिए, इनका हिंदुस्तान के प्रति प्रेम कम दिखता है, इनका फिलिस्तीन और दूसरे लोगों के प्रति प्रेम ज्यादा दिखता है. वही दिखाने की कोशिश की. जब ट्रोल हो गई तो आज जो है वो लेकर बांग्लादेश वाला लेकर ये आई. और तीसरी बात में जो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि गांधी परिवार अगर कुछ बोलता है तो दूसरे देशों में इसकी ज्यादा प्रतिक्रिया होती है। देखिए, पाकिस्तान के सांसद फवाद चौधरी बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे सांसदों की हिम्मत नहीं है, देखिए हिंदुस्तान के संसद में ये हो रहा है। तो यही चीजें पाने के लिए ये लोग हिंदुस्तान की संसद को फैशन परेड की जगह बना लें
अच्छा,
या एक संविधान का
मुझे एक
मंदिर
चीज
बना लें। जी
आपने एक
जी
इंटरेस्टिंग
जी
बात
जी
कही कि प्रियंका की अपनी जिंदगी रिफ्लेक्ट्स पेट्रियार्की, द सन वाज प्रमोटेड अहेड ऑफ द सिस्टर, बट आप इसको नेशनलिज्म से क्यों जोड़ते हैं? किसी की अपनी राय है, किसी का अपना व्यू है, राइट? वो एक हक होता है डेमोक्रेसी में, उसको भारत के खिलाफ क्यों देखा जाता है? भारत, हमारा देश, फिलिस्तीन के लोगों को ह्यूमैनिटेरियन एड भेजता है। ये मोदी गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग दिस। आप मोदी गवर्नमेंट को तो नहीं एंटी नेशनल कहेंगे, वो हम भेज रहे हैं ह्यूमैनिटेरियन एड। हमें भी कंसर्न है एज एन इंडियन स्टेट की लोगों को के साथ क्या बीत रही है वहां। तो ये एंटी नेशनल में क्यों आ
हमारा
जाते हैं हम?
देश, मैं एंटी नेशनल मैंने कहा ही नहीं। मेरे किसी शब्द में एंटी नेशनल हो तो बताइए। मैंने कहा उन लोगों की सोच ये है। एंटी नेशनल तो जहां है वहां है। राहुल जी सोरोस और सोनिया गांधी जी जहां पर थे, सोरोस के लिए हम लोगों ने कहा और कहेंगे कि वो एंटी नेशनल व्यक्ति के साथ हैं, उनके साथ काम कर रहे हैं। मनमोहन सिंह जी की बेटी उनके साथ काम कर रही है, तो वो हम कहेंगे। मगर यहाँ जो हिंदुस्तान भेज रहा है उनको, हिंदुस्तान ने तो टर्की को भी भेजा, हिंदुस्तान ने फिलिस्तीन को भी भेजा। हिंदुस्तान, लेकिन ये बताइए, हिंदुस्तान के संसद में आप क्या दिखाना चाहती हैं? आप किसको ये एड्रेस करना चाहती हैं? जो ये फिलिस्तीन का बैग लेकर आ रही हैं, उसमें तरबूज है और क्या क्या है, कोई फूल है, बहुत कुछ चीजें हैं उसमें, लेकिन फिलिस्तीन लिखा हुआ है। आप क्या साबित क्या करना चाहती हैं हिंदुस्तान की संसद में? ये सवाल उठता है बरखा जी। और कहीं पर हम नहीं कह रहे कि हिंदुस्तान तो इंदिरा जी के समय से फिलिस्तीन से हमारा संबंध अच्छा रहा है, मगर मैं ये एक सवाल यहाँ उठता है कि फिलिस्तीन में मारे जाने वाले उन मुसलमान दंगाइयों और आतंकियों के लिए तो प्रेम उठता है जो फिलिस्तीन देश के खिलाफ है, नहीं है हिंदुस्तान, लेकिन उन आतंकियों के खिलाफ है, हमास के खिलाफ है और सबके आतंकियों के खिलाफ है। तो हम जब उस आतंकियों की खिलाफत करते हैं तो आतंकियों, और इजराइल किसको मार रहा है? आतंकियों को मार रहा है। एक बात। नंबर 2 पॉइंट आता है, हिंदुस्तान
इजराइल।
में बहुत से, एक 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 बात हम कह लें उसके बाद, हिंदुस्तान में हर साल बहुत से सैनिक जो है शहीद होते हैं, बहुत से पुलिस के सिपाही इन राज्यों में मारे जाते हैं जहां पर कांग्रेस की भी सत्ता है। एक कोई हमको ट्वीट, एक फोटो दिखा दीजिए प्रियंका गांधी का जहां पर जाकर उनके घरों पर श्रद्धांजलि देकर आए हो ये लोग, एक दिखा दीजिए। तो इसी से ये पता चलता
आपने
है
आपने
कि ये
बहुत अलग
आतंकियों के
अलग
साथ हैं कि देशभक्तों के।
आपने बहुत अलग अलग यहाँ बातें कही हैं। Sabas wanted to come in. I was going to come in, but I let
जी,
Sabah
कोई
respond and then
fact
Sandip.
check। नहीं, शाहिद जी, एक फैक्ट चेक कर दूं कि आपने कहा कि
जी
इजराइल के लोग सिर्फ हमास को मार रहे हैं। शायद आपको पता नहीं, आपको ये शायद ये खबर मिक्स हो गई होगी। जेनोसाइड कन्वेंशन, जेनोसाइड का इसमें अंतरराष्ट्रीय कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस और यूएन बॉडीज ने कहा इजराइल जेनोसाइड कर रहा है और बहुत मुल्कों में उनके प्रधानमंत्री का अरेस्ट हो सकता है। मैं बस आपको फैक्ट दे रही हूँ, राय
नहीं, ये
नहीं है
आपने
ये।
भी कहा अभी, सबा जी आपने भी ये बात अभी कहा, अभी आपने ये बात कहा। जी जी जी, आपने भी कहा, लेकिन
एक एक
शुरू
एक
कीजिए।
और बड़ी
जी
लोगों को
एक
और
बड़ी से
मौत गाजा को वो जिस तरह से क्लियर कर रहे हैं, ये सब हो रहा है, ये
एक
फैक्ट्स है, दुनिया में जा चुकी है। इसमें
जी
इंटरनेशनली राय लोगों ने ली है। चलिए, मैं बस फैक्ट देना चाह रही, आपकी राय से
Okay,
बिल्कुल
okay. I just want to say that one very important thing is to also remember the position of India on this. India has not, for reasons unknown, not officially declared Hamas to be a terrorist group, a designated terrorist group. But of course, शाही जी ने कहा कि वो प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं टेररिस्ट को, देशभक्तों के साथ नहीं खड़े। Tehseen Poonawala is also with us. Before I get Tehseen and Sandip to come in, let's also play out. Yogi Adityanath has also weighed in on this debate. Take a look.
कल कांग्रेस की एक नेत्री संसद में फिलिस्तीन का बैग लेकर घूम रही थी और हम यूपी के नौजवानों को इजराइल भेज रहे हैं। वहां पर यूपी के अब तक लगभग 5,600 से अधिक नौजवान इजराइल गए हैं निर्माण कार्य करने के लिए, और हर नौजवान रहने का फ्री, खाने का फ्री और 1.5 लाख रुपए उसको वहां पे अतिरिक्त मिल रहे हैं और पूरी सुरक्षा की गारंटी भी है। अभी इजराइल के राजदूत आए थे, उन्होंने कहा कि हम यूपी के और भी नौजवान ले जाना चाहेंगे क्योंकि यूपी का नौजवान अच्छा काम कर रहा है। बेरोजगार नहीं, उसकी स्किल की ताकत को दुनिया आज मान रही है। आप ये मान के चलिए, वो नौजवान जब 1.5 लाख रुपए भेजता अपने घर, तो प्रदेश के ही विकास में वो योगदान देता है। हमें अभिनंदन करना चाहिए उन नौजवानों का। क्या प्रवासी भारतीयों ने भारत के विकास में योगदान नहीं किया?
Now, Sandip, whatever be your opinion on Priyanka Gandhi's Palestine bag, how can it be a good advertisement to say that young people are having to go to a war zone to work? They should not have to go. Indians should not have to go to Israel to work. It's a war zone.
First of all, Barkha, therefore you're denying me the opportunity to give a comment on Priyanka Gandhi's bag.
No, not at all. I'm not denying you anything. Please go ahead.
I think it's a nice bag, very colorful, and I think it's a better idea to have that than the Louis Vuitton bag, etc., which people try to hide beneath their desk. So she's flaunting it, and I'm all for it. And she's taking, maybe adding a lot more color. And second thing is, like Saba articulated very cogently, I know she believes in the Palestine cause. She has been saying this on other fora and everything else, and I have no issues. There one can definitely but have either agree with her or have another position and have a very intelligent dialogue. Now, the question which arises is, therefore, Priyanka Gandhi willing to really take on and take it beyond making this statement, fashion statement, and have a serious dialogue on this issue? And in that case, she being an important person of the party, she should, as get that going, get her party to articulate it much more strongly, get it, into the top line, and get the entire group talking about it. Okay, and if that sort of a movement is happening, like you've seen that sort of movement that Saba is saying in various countries in different sections, if that is happening, I have no issues with, as Saba was saying, with an opposition party having a different stand than what the official stand of the government is. They can definitely have. But then you up the entire ante and have a serious dialogue with it rather than just create photo op. Because when you're creating photo ops, that is where, and not carrying it forward seriously, that is where the issue arises. Then everybody else will, what Yogi Adityanath is doing, and various people will give it different spin and get away. So it has to be a serious statement.
Do you see it as her grabbing the headlines and everybody reacting, or do you see her having walked into a political trap? It can be either ways. We don't know.
I don't see grabbing the headlines also, Barkha. I think my worry with Congress today is Congress is speaking to a very small ecosystem. They are very happy if they get kudos and claps on social media from a small circle and a small coterie of their admirers, whether in media or elsewhere. They're very happy about it. People ask these questions. Like your young reporter, I don't know whether she was your reporter or somebody else went and asked her. They make a statement. They're very happy about it. The problem with Congress is today they either get guided by some PR agency, like what I'm told, some Teen Bandar or somebody is guiding them on the PR factor, or the NGOs. Now, they are not really weighing the political factor. Now, the second point, only other point, Barkha, I'll make is, as I said, Congress has to articulate it in a much more cogent and powerful manner. And secondly, Congress cannot, so far since they have not officially broken away from the India alliance, they need to also see what is the position of their allies, whether everybody else is with them here or not, because this is on a very serious matter. You're making a statement. It is not just something happening somewhere in the either some small thing. This is an international thing.
I think the fair point that both you and Ashwini Shahi have raised is, why not lead a debate in Parliament? Why not then get the party organized to take a position? Okay. So let me get or outside. Why not beyond a tweet? Okay. Tehseen, you have always said that you believe that the party you support is lurching too far to the left. Sandip, Saba, of course, applauded the move, and I think I can see a very excited young child behind you. Maybe you should invite him to the show also, Tehseen. But the serious question. You can't both say that the party you support is leaning too far to the left and also then say Priyanka's done a great thing here. Is this not what Sandip Ghosh would say, a very tiny left ecosystem?
No, not at all. Sandeep is completely wrong, and I'm surprised on your show. Sandeep can be so wrong. I mean, I know Sandeep is mostly wrong, but this wrong is stuns me. So Sandeep, over fish and chips, some lamb chops at a Kolkata club. Let's not get facts wrong. Number one, let's get each fact correct. And yeah, my little baby is saying, why should Taimur be on Barkha's show? He wants to be on Barkha's show. He kept
Please
insisting,
bring
sitting
him
and he's
on.
crying because he wants to be on Barkha's show. I'm
Please
telling
bring
you,
him
all
on.
the new gen. I'm telling you, the whatever Gen Z, Gen whatever, they all want to be on Barkha's show. I'm telling you this. So he's crying, but look, we had a golden temple to. So that's right. Okay, so two things. Number one, the official stand of the government of India. Allow me to read this out. Both on their publicly listed website, the MEA website, and their answer to Parliament is, Saba, bear with me. In Palestine continues to remain the cornerstone of India's foreign policy. We stand for a two-nation theory. We stand and we support the people of Palestine and the innocent people of Palestine. The Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable External Affairs Minister have made this statement multiple times. In fact, the Honorable Prime Minister has met the Palestine president after the war, and India continues to send humanitarian. Now, what happens to Congress? Not only, as you rightly said, Barkha, that the Indian government has not categorized Hamas as a terrorist organization. It is actually the Congress that has been very categorical. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi writes, allow me to read it out, on October 7, 2023, on the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, Hamas launched a brutal attack on Israel, killing more than 1,000 people, mostly civilians, and kidnapping over 200 more. The unprecedented attack was devastating for Israel. The Indian National Congress strongly believes that violence has no place in a decent world, and the very next day, the Indian National Congress unequivocally condemned the Hamas attacks. Jairam Ramesh called it a terror attack. We are very clear that the Congress stands by the government on this. So for Sandeep to be so wrong on your show is stunning. I'm also, like Yogi ji, met the Israeli ambassador and met many senior Israeli people. Israel is a friend of India. No two ways about it. India stands with the innocent people of Palestine.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sandeep was trying to say something, but complete your point.
I'm not taking any positions on this. Everybody's right to.
No, you said. Allow me to quote. No, you said that opposition can be wrong, and it's okay to be different from the government. We are exactly what the government of India is doing. In fact, we are stronger than what the government of India is saying.
No. I didn't use. If I've used the wrong, I think it's.
No, then you should have categorized that in this case they aren't. I'll tell you, Sandeep, what happened. Sandeep, I'll tell you what happened. Sandeep, I understand television, so do you. Allow me, it's my chance. Sandeep, when you make a blanket statement and you don't put the context in it, to the average viewer, as Barkha says, the average viewer doesn't know nuances. Sandeep, you're talking, nobody can hear. So if I may finish, if Sandeep.
Okay,
yeah, Sandeep, allow me to finish. Then you counter me.
Yeah.
Then counter me.
Okay.
Sandeep, when you made this kind of statement that you made, and it's not nuanced, when you don't say it's not in this context, the average Barkha viewer may think Sandeep is talking in context of Israel, Hamas, Palestine, which is the context of Barkha's show. It's okay to have an opposite position, but in this particular case, the Congress has very well articulated this position.
So what is the purpose of the bag?
Department is the
Tehseen, what is the purpose of the bag?
The purpose of the bag.
What is the purpose of the bag?
Correct.
Yeah.
The purpose of the bag is threefold. Yesterday Palestine, today Bangladesh, Hindus and Christians. People जो मजबूर हैं, Priyanka Gandhi ji मजबूती के साथ उनके साथ खड़ी है. It is one. Number two, it is to initiate dialogue. And as I said on your show, not just Bangladesh, we need dialogue on Syria and that region. We have historical ties with Syria.
Okay, let's get other comments. We have just a few minutes left. I'll get Sandip first, then Saba, and then Ashwini ji. Yes.
I just want to clarify, Tehseen.
Yeah.
I am not taking a position either pro-Palestine, anti-Palestine, pro-Israel or others. I'm saying people are absolutely entitled to take their positions in this thing. Let them take it, let them articulate it, and take it to conclusion or to a certain critical mass. To do that. That's all that I'm saying. So I'm saying don't do a hit and scoot kind of a situation, shoot and scoot and get away. in that case, carry it to a logical level. Say that, yes, this is something we want to articulate. I think it becomes little frivolous or trivial if you just flaunt a bag and walk away
Okay.
when it is not amplified by your party and
Fair
everybody.
enough. You're saying if you feel so strongly about it, do something more substantive with it, then carry a bag. I think that's a fair point. Saba, do you agree? Saba?
I do agree. I think Priyanka can initiate more. She's tweeted about it, but maybe this is the beginning of the process. But Barkha, I want to take the end times to make 2 quick points. Number one, it would only happen to a woman that what she's wearing is being commented on. Though Priyanka was obviously waiting for it to be commented on. But however,
But also she carried it to be let's be also fair. She carried a bag to draw attention. It wasn't an innocuous today I'm wearing this sari and this bag goes with it.
I agree.
Right?
Yes, the objectification of her clothes and it's anyway, whatever it is. But it's not the right. Secondly, I want to take this opportunity to say that it's deeply disturbing for me to hear that people from my home state of Uttar Pradesh are being sent into a war zone. The government should be able to provide them with jobs. If you recall, there have been stories about Indians stranded in Italy in sort of slave-like conditions, desperate to come back home. We should not be sending people to Russia, to Ukraine, to war zones. It is pathetic if we do that. And this is not a political point. I find it deeply disturbing. And that we sort of position that as job creation. Shame on us. That's it. That's all I have to say.
I think that's a very important point. And Ashwini जी, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाह रही थी योगी जी का बयान सुनने के बाद कि आपको जो मर्जी है प्रियंका की पॉलिटिक्स पे आप बोलिए, लेकिन हम लोग ये कैसे कह सकते हैं कि ये बहुत अच्छी बात है कि हमारे नौजवान इजराइल जा रहे हैं काम की खोज में? ये अच्छी बात क्यों है? ये अच्छी बात कैसे?
काम की खोज में नहीं जा रहे हैं, यही तो एक सोच का फर्क है। काम की खोज में नहीं जा रहे हैं। इजराइल ने उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार से मांगा है और हम उन बच्चों को स्किल करके वहां पर भेज रहे हैं। और वहां पर योगी जी का पूरा भाषण सुनिए, उनमें एक लाइन उन्होंने भी कहा है कि सिक्योरिटी की पूरी जिम्मेदारी इजराइल गवर्नमेंट की है, उसके साथ वो जा रहे हैं। सबा जी कह रहे हैं वार जोन में भेजे जा रहे हैं। वार जोन में नहीं, हिंदुस्तान के कितने लड़के कहां जा रहे हैं? हिंदुस्तान की मतलब कितनी % आबादी जो है खाड़ी देशों में रहती है, ये देखने वाली चीज है। वहां से हम किस तरीके से बचा कर लाए हैं, हमारे माननीय मंत्री लोगों को सराहना है। बीके सिंह साहब, सुषमा स्वराज जी कई जगह से लेकर आए हैं उन लोगों को। लेकिन ये कहना 1.5 लाख रुपए अगर उनको मिल रहा है, वहां पर खाना रहना सब फ्री मिल रहा है उनको और सिक्योरिटी मिल रही है, तो एक नौकरी क्रिएशन अगर हो रहा है वहां पर, तो उत्तर प्रदेश की जनसंख्या 25 करोड़ की आबादी है और उत्तर प्रदेश के बारे में सोचना मुख्यमंत्री का काम है। कैसे हम अपने लोगों को सुरक्षित रखेंगे, कैसे बेहतर करेंगे। एक बात और है जो प्रियंका जी पर और ये चर्चा हो रही थी, सबा जी आपके ही उसमें अगर मान लीजिए कि ठीक है, हम हमास को अभी बरखा जी ने कहा कि वहां पर टेररिस्ट नहीं कहा हिंदुस्तान ने, तो क्या इजराइल को भी तो
मैं कह रही हूँ ऑफिशियली नहीं कहा, लेकिन
ऑफिशियली नहीं कहा
कि जो 7 अक्टूबर को हुआ इट वाज एन अटैक ऑफ टेरर, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है,
कोई दो राय नहीं है। लेकिन इजराइल को हमेशा दोस्त भी तो कहा है। तो अगर फिलिस्तीन का वो बैग लेकर एक मैसेज देना चाहती हैं, तो इजराइल के लिए भी कोई मैसेज होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान तो न्यूट्रल है। हिंदुस्तान जो है, भारत अपना देश हमेशा न्यूट्रल रहा है, तो दोनों देशों के साथ रहा है। हम फिलिस्तीन की भी सहायता कर रहे हैं, हम उनको सामान भेज रहे हैं और इजराइल के साथ भी खड़े हैं। तो कहाँ यहाँ पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार अगर इस तरीके का व्यवहार कर रही है और दूसरे पार्टी के लोग ये व्यवहार कर रहे हैं, तो इसका मतलब है कि उनका झुकाव किधर है, वो हिंदुस्तान का विरोध कर रहे हैं, हिंदुस्तान की सरकार का विरोध, मतलब हिंदुस्तान का विरोध। जी,
ये आपका एक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है। सॉरी बट आई हैव टाइम जस्ट फॉर क्लोजिंग कमेंट्स। आई गो टू संदीप तहसीन, आई गिव यू द लास्ट वर्ड आफ्टर दैट इफ योर सिग्नल होल्ड्स। संदीप, इज द प्रॉब्लम हियर दैट ऑन फॉरेन पॉलिसी यूजुअली देयर इज अ कंसेंसस? Tehseen said Priyanka and the Congress have not broken that consensus, that by carrying a Palestine bag she's not breaking the foreign policy consensus.
See, I think this is more than just a simple foreign policy issue. If it is a foreign policy issue, somewhere there is an attack, there is a war, or somewhere they're making a statement that is here. Here, there are a lot of, I think, it's a very nuanced thing, and people can have, according to me, a different view. But then, as I say, that you have to be consistent, you have to articulate it, and that's where your responsibility factor comes, Barkha. It is not you or me, I may be working in an organization, I could be having a different view about it, or even in a newspaper or media organization, somebody may have a different view. But when you are making that statement, as Priyanka Gandhi can be a first-time MP, but we all know her importance in the Congress firmament. If she's making a statement, where does the party stand, and where, most importantly, that's in the alliance stand? That also becomes very important, because we have been talking, is Congress taking their own stand on various issues, and not worrying about what everybody is saying? I think those are the important things. And rather than making these, as you say, the photo op kind of statements, I think that is where the gravity of the matter is being reduced.
Now, I do have to close Tehseen. At least our audience and our channel can't be classified as center right, but at least our audience at the moment, the polls are still open, believes that more people believe that it was political naivete than courageous empathy. So this is a problem. I think Sandip's point is correct, that if you really feel strongly about something, then message it properly. Message it properly by simply carrying a bag. It's a great social media moment for you. But what next? The fallout is inevitable. There will be people who support you. There will be people who criticize you. Tehseen, very quickly, closing comment.
I completely bow down to your audience, and that is the way it is. And I do concede that the Congress communication department is a disaster. Having said that, 30% is a lot more than I expected, and it only is because Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. If it was anybody else, they wouldn't have managed that. That's the first point. The second point, she also carried the bag of Bangladesh today. Now, is that political naivety? Third, yesterday she tried to raise Bangladesh in the House. The government I repeat, the government ran away from Hindus being attacked in Bangladesh. I think Priyanka Gandhi Vadra by far is the best orator Congress has, and she has a political mind. She seems to be using it. I agree this is not the best for, but she's making an impact. And one last thing, how can a chief minister in an assembly to thumping sounds say Indians are going to Israel to serve without rent and without having to pay for food because they're serving in the Israeli army? That's a terrible thing for any Indian to do for lack of jobs. I stand by my Indians, but that's not what we should be cheering.
Okay, the debate continues. We will continue this debate. I'm sure Ashwini ji will have a longer piece to say on it. But for now, we have to say goodbye and thank you to Saba, Tehseen, Ashwini ji, and Sandip Ghosh. Thank you to our audience, and see you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.